all know that Nigeria, from this review article that was published in Lancet last year, showed that Nigeria and South Africa had the highest burden, with an estimated over 25,000 cases, 25,000 crack cases. That's cryptococcal antigenemia. And we do know from data that I think French et al. Published in 2021 that it takes roughly about 22 days for crack positive patients, an average of 22 days to develop cryptococcal meningitis. So, but globally, the average of, we have an average rate of 6% of HIV crack prevalence among HIV/AIDS patients, with CD4 count less than 100. So we looked at it. There was a previous data from Nigeria that showed that we had in a center, just one center in Nigeria, they did a study and got out of their patients that had neurological symptoms of AIDS, 36% of them had cryptococcal meningitis, and they had a 100% mortality rate. So on the basis of these data, we wanted to identify why was cryptococcal meningitis not being diagnosed, and what happens to the patient? Is it that there's no cryptococcal meningitis in Nigeria? There's data to show it. We have about 4 different publications that have come from Nigeria showing crack rates with very geographical variations, but significant. One center actually had a 12.9 rate of crack prevalence. So we decided that there must be a poor index of suspicion, though it's in our national guidelines that we should do crack screening and to treat. No center in Nigeria routinely does crack screening, despite the fact that it's in the guidelines. So there's poor index of suspicion on part of the clinicians, and then there's poor availability and accessibility of the antifungals that are needed to treat the cryptococcal meningitis. It's a challenge. In Nigeria presently, we have just 2 centers that give us generic amphotericin B, the basic amphotericin B, not Ambisome, and just 2 centers, one in Lagos and one in Jos, for a country with a population of 170 million people. So there's need for screening, crack screening. It's already in the guidelines. Then there was need to be able to let clinicians know that there's a difference in the management of TB meningitis and cryptococcal meningitis. We all know that in TB meningitis, the patients do need steroids. And then steroid affects the outcome. I mean, it makes the outcome in cryptococcal meningitis, it's adverse to the outcome in cryptococcal meningitis. So if we commonly misdiagnose these patients as TB meningitis, because TB is prevalent here, most of our patients are classified as smear-negative TB. And even when it's gene-expert negative, we'll still say that most likely the patients have TB. So clinicians needed to also understand the role of therapeutic lumbar puncture in the role that it plays in cryptococcal management, because we discovered in our survey that most clinicians felt that lumbar puncture was just for diagnosis of cryptococcal meningitis. And we also highlight the fact that it was more cost effective. I mean, data has shown that several data is out there in literature showing that it's more cost effective for you to do a crack screening and then treat preemptively than to wait for the patients to develop cryptococcal meningitis, then treat.